The top 10 loadouts in Warzone on Rebirth and Caldera after the huge Season 3 update, where they buffed and nerfed over 20 weapons. Welcome back, I'm Austin, and starting off with the class you'd expect most sweaty players to be running, the XM4 and Owen Gun, a tried and true combination that you can't go wrong with. So on the XM4, it's going to be your typical long-range build. We've got the Agency Suppressor and Task Force, which maxes out your bullet velocity, making it super nice. Then you got the Field Agent Grip and Action Alarms 3 times, which help you be more accurate with the weapon. And then finally, the 60-round mag, just to get you that extra damage per mag. And then the Owen Gun is actually going to be identical to my Sniper Support build, except for I make one change where I switch the Rapid Barrel on instead of the Shrouded. Basically, the Shrouded just gets rid of your third damage range, making it so it still gets really good TTKs out to farther ranges. The Rapid Fire Barrel, what it's going to do is it's really going to hurt your movement stats, as you can see with the ADS and Sprint to Fire Speed. That's what they did to nerf it a little bit more, and the Rapid Fire Barrel is what's going to get us to an equivalent TTK to the MP40 on Caldera, but it will actually kill faster than the MP40 on Rebirth. And then for the perks, we got Cold-Blooded, Overkill, and Amped. I like C4 the best, but you can really use any lethal you want. And then the Heartbeat Sensor is a lot better now since they nerfed Ghost, so I'd be running that on your initial loadouts every single time. For Custom Loadout 2, we're actually going to go to a couple underappreciated weapons that people don't use enough, so maybe you haven't used these in a while. The Amax at long range is really, really good, and we're also going to be maxing out its long range bullet velocity with the Monolithic Suppressor and the Zodiac, which is going to increase its range and its recoil control, which is kind of the one thing you got to worry about on the Amax is one, its recoil control and can you aim it. If you can, this is going to be one of the faster killing ARs at long range. And then the other area it might struggle in quads is going to be damage per mag because it only has 45 bullets. But the good news is it does have really good damage per shot. The PPSH, we can't forget about this. This is one of the top 5 fastest killing SMGs on Rebirth and Caldera. So you really can't forget about this thing, especially when it has such broken hipfire, which is going to be what this build's for. And the most important attachments on this are the recoil booster, this 230mm barrel, because this gets your fire rate up plus gets your hip fire better. And then the final thing is there's 2 magazines you could go between. It's the Nambu 71 round mag and the Gorinko 71 round mag, but I like the Gorinko better because the damage per mag is so much better, and overall this thing's just really good. And then I have the same perks on. You're going to notice that on a lot of them. I'll re-bring them up if I change them. Now for the third one, we actually are going to have our Rebirth sniper setup. So this is not one I would use on Caldera. So the Owen Gun, we've already gone over this class setup, so I won't go over it too long. The Shrouded Barrel, remember that gets rid of the third damage range. You're going to kill about 50 milliseconds slower than you would with the Rapid, but you actually have better movement with the Shrouded, so you're going to get better aim down sight speed and better sprint to fire, so that's really nice. Now, the Pellington is going to be the best of the snipers that can only get a one-shot kill at their initial range. First off, that's going to be 70 meters on it, so therefore, most of your engagements on Rebirth will be within 70 meters. This is going to be the best one. It also has the best ADS, better than the Kar 98 even. What do we do here? I'm getting the max bullet velocity with the Rap Suppressor and the Combat Recon, and then I got the SWAT 5MW laser to help with the aiming stability and ADS, super valuable. And then I got the Airborne Elastic, which is going to be our flinch resistance, aiming stability, and ADS. All really good things to have on a sniper. And then finally, I have the fast reloader on here. It just gets you a faster reload. It's pretty useful. All right, so that's custom class setup 3. Now the fourth one is actually going to be my Caldera sniper setup, where the Milano is definitely underappreciated because it's so accurate and has a very competitive TTK with some of the best ARs. This thing only kills 13 milliseconds slower than the XM4 at long range, which most of the sweaty players use, and it also has a better TTK up close, as well as having way better mobility and better aim down sight speed that can help you get on target before the enemy who's maybe using an assault rifle. Now what do we have here? We got the Agency Suppressor, which is going to get our bullet velocity up, but then we use the Task Force Barrel, which increases our strafe speed and our effective damage range, which are both really important. You will see it does hurt our recoil a little bit, but we have the Field Agent Grip on there to counteract that. And then the Microflex LED just helps me aim it a little bit better when I'm trying to shoot someone 50, 60 meters out, which is super easy to do with this weapon. And then the 55 round drum, we just get the damage per mag up. And then for me, the best sniper rifle for the long range one-shot kills is going to be the HDR. It is a little bit slow, but we get an insane bullet velocity of over 1300 meters per second by putting the Monolithic Suppressor on and HDR Pro. Now the con to this is they both hurt the ADS, but the TAC laser will help negate those penalties as well as get us better aiming stability, which is so important on sniper rifles. And then also the FTAC Champion will also get us aiming stability, and that's what this sniper does so well. It's not only bullet velocity, it also has the least idle sway among all sniper rifles, so that's very important. And then the variable zoom is really nice, and this is going to be your Caldera sniper class. And now we're going to go to a class setup that works on both maps, and this is one of my personal favorites. You're going to be thinking, what the heck? No overkill, we're using top brakes as a secondary in a long-range Milano. I know it seems a little weird, but I love this class setup. It means you basically just need to grab the free one at the beginning, and you can save the rest of your money, get whatever you want, UAVs to start pushing other teams. The only problem with the top brakes is you are going to be limited to using this in duos and solos. You could probably get away with it in trios as well, but I'm going to start off with the Milano and tell you why. We've already gone over that the time to kill at long range is basically equivalent to the XM4 and will beat other ARs like the Automaton, but we're going to get our max bullet velocity on this setup by using the agency suppressor and the 10.5 Ranger. And what that's going to do is it's going to get us to about 900 bullet velocity, which is a little bit low for longer range weapons, but it still works perfectly out to 100-125 meters. And then up close, these top brakes, you're probably thinking, how are these going to compete against SMGs, or how would they compete against shotguns? Well, they kill faster than any single shotgun in the game, and they kill faster than every single sub in the game inside of 6 meters on this setup. They're going to do amazing. Now, if you try to use them out a little bit past, you're probably going to get gunned down by some of the top-end SMGs, like the Owen Gun that we've already mentioned in this video. Now, how do we get the time to kill that's 362 milliseconds on Caldera, meaning with the 300 health? On Rebirth, it's even better. It's under 300 milliseconds. It's honestly insane how quickly these things will drop kids. What we really need is the Russian short, which increases our damage. And then we need the M15 shot shell, which is the damage radius. It basically sort of makes it like a pellet spread like a shotgun, so it makes it a lot easier to hit your bullets. And then finally, we got the hair trigger on here, which increases the fire rate, which also gets the TTK up. And then we also have the akimbo on here, fire the 2 guns at once, which is what gets your time to kill to be so high. And now, what this allows us to do is get tempered right away, which is the best perk 2 in the game. This is the one where you only need to put on 2 plates to get the full health, and each plate is 75. Make sure to like the video if it's been helpful, and subscribe to see more top 10s, tier lists, and weapon comparisons. And now let's go to the next class setup. Another couple of underappreciated weapons, the C58 and the Type 100. I'm going to start off with the C58. This thing is so amazing on Caldera. I probably would not use it on Rebirth because it isn't very good at close range, and you're going to get more close range engagements. This is one of the best long range weapons and one of the fastest killing assault rifles, and I'm going to tell you why. The time to kill up close is equivalent to its time to kill at long range at 864 milliseconds, which is about 50 milliseconds faster than the XM4 and AK-47. And what makes this so forgiving is not because its fire rate is fast, that's kind of slow, but because you can hit the left pinky toe, or you could hit a chest shot, and you're going to get the same TTK. It doesn't matter where you hit on the body, you are going to get the 864 millisecond TTK, and it doesn't have very much recoil. Now, you probably already know the setup: agency suppressor, task force, axial, field agent, 45 round drum. And I'm going to tell you why I don't use the 55 round one. This thing has a poor handling stats with its aim down sight speed. Don't want to hurt that anymore by using the 55 round mag. And now the Type 100 is the fastest killing SMG within Warzone, whether it's on Rebirth or it's on Caldera. And you're going to think maybe the recoil's a little bit bad by using the recoil booster and the rapid fire barrel plus the 48 round mag, but it's actually really easy to aim. Range of it is 18 meters, where you get 612 millisecond TTK on Caldera, and you get sub 500 millisecond time to kill on Rebirth, which is just ridiculous for a sub. You really have to try this out. You're not going to have any problems aiming it out to 18-20 meters. Past that, it might be a little bit wobbly. And now for custom class 7. This is one of my late game setups. I would also use this Milano one up here that I'll just go back to. This also works really great if you're just landing back in the 5th circle, whether it's Rebirth or Caldera. This is a great one to do because the tempered gets you max plates immediately. The Owen Gun with the top brakes, I have a similar thing, but on the top brakes I switched one perk. I switched from quick to fully loaded. That way I get max ammo for my Owen and the top brakes. It's going to be really nice. So since you already know the top brake class setup, we're going to go back to the Owen, which I use the sniper support variant because what we're trying to do for our late game loadout is something that can work up close and can work at mid range. We don't need anything for super far ranges because the circle is going to be smaller. I also have on restock, so therefore I can get snapshots and proximity mines at the end of the game, which are really clutch if you're anywhere near buildings. So now that we've got a late game loadout for Rebirth and Caldera, let's just go back to an overkill one where I have the best LMG in the game. A lot of people like to use guns like the Brent or the DP27, which are both solid still, even though the Brent got a huge nerf. The PKM is just going to be the best easily. I'm going to tell you why. This thing has elite aim down sight speed for a light machine gun, making it not feel that bad. Sure, the reload is awful, but that's the only negative to this weapon. We got a faster time to kill than any assault rifle in Warzone, plus we have a really accurate weapon, and it's just super easy to use. So we're going to get the max bullet velocity with the monolithic extended, then the tac laser and snatch grip both help its elite aim down sight speed, which are actually better than the C58s that I mentioned earlier, but we also get really good recoil control from the snatch grip. Now for the Lapa, this thing is just really underappreciated. I think it's because a lot of people don't have it unlocked, but if you do, try it out with the PKM and use this setup. So what we do is we have the agency suppressor and then the 7.9 rifled, which gives you damage and fire rate, which is how you get the broken time to kill on this thing, which makes it top 5 on Caldera and Rebirth for submachine gun TTKs. We got the Microflex LED because the iron sights are really gross, the Raider stock for movement, and then the 50 round mag just to get that damage per mag to go upward. If we go to class setup 9, the long range Milano is back, so I won't re-go over that because you guys already know the class setup and you know why I love it so much. But we're going to pair it with the JAK 12. This is kind of the top rank class, but for squads, because the shotgun, this kills just 38 milliseconds slower than the top ranks, but you're going to have just slightly more range and a lot more damage per mag because you can throw in this big 20 round drum. Now the movement with this thing is going to be really bad, but since we have the Milano for the movement speed, we don't have to run around with this. Once we're in a building, we can pull it out and then kill some people with it. And the JAK 12 literally takes absolutely no skill to use, so really, if you're a bot, you can use this JAK 12 really effectively. You can kind of just stand there and like someone runs in front of you, they have no chance. Unless they have top breaks, then they might kill you. Now, this is going to be my favorite assault rifle in the game, the Fara. It has the fastest time to kill if you hit about 60% of your shots at long range on the chest, which isn't too hard to do because there's absolutely no visual recoil, and you only have vertical kick to it. It's really easy to pull down, especially when you don't have your axial arms 3x scope bobbling around. This is going to be the classic setup. We got the GRU suppressor, Spetsnaz RPK barrel, Spetsnaz grip, 6 round mag. We don't have to go over that too much. Now the MP40. I've been hearing JGod talk about how hard it was nerfed, but he's only thinking about Rebirth, because it did get hit by about 60-70 milliseconds slower on there, but it was sub 500 milliseconds, which means it's still killing really quickly, and it's still a good weapon on Rebirth. But on Caldera, it didn't even get affected. It was 616 milliseconds before, and it's 616 milliseconds now. That's going to be equivalent to the Owen Gun with the rapid barrel, and it's going to be only 4 milliseconds slower than the Type 100, meaning this thing is still top 3 on Caldera, so I don't get what he's saying. I mean, stop thinking about Rebirth only, we got to think about the whole game. The recoil booster, the short barrel, and the 45 round mag is what's going to make this kill so quickly, and with the short barrel, you actually do less damage to the head than the chest, meaning that it's really easy to get the best time to kill because you just have to hit the chest and stomach shots in order to get the 616 millisecond TTK, as well as we knock off the 3rd damage range. Click on this video to see how the sniping meta has changed in Season 3. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.